Purchasing is a core element to just-in-time manufacturing because materials must be on hand when needed by jobs. This video provides an overview of purchasing features and the purchasing process workflow. Let's first take a look at the supplier screen. The supplier name, trading name on forms, address, payment terms, and other details are maintained on the Detail tab. If you purchase from the supplier in a foreign currency, the currency code is specified in this field. Item sources are specified in the Stock Items screen. Here we are looking at the Sources tab. Supplier line cards are specified on the Suppliers subtab. The line card includes the supplier, supplier part number, supplier description, supplier unit of measure, and the supplier price. This flag indicates the default supplier. The unit of measure conversion multiplier is used if the supplier sells in a different unit of measure than your stocking unit of measure. Manufacturer part numbers can be specified on the Manufacturer subtab. This flag indicates the default manufacturer part number. Purchased item planning settings are maintained in the MRP settings screen. Here we are looking at all purchased items. Each purchased item is given a lead days allocation, which is the number of scheduling days planned for procurement. The delivery inquiry shows past delivery days for reference. Purchased items are also given an order policy, which can be to order or stocking, to determine how and when the item is ordered and whether it contributes to sell item time to shipment targets. For stocking order policy items, a dynamically calculated reorder point and minimum order quantity are used to keep inventory lean and efficient. See the MRP overview video for details. Purchase orders are generated in the MRP screen. Jobs are always generated first because they provide the demand for purchased items. Jobs are first generated and converted for CTO custom-to-order items, then for standard cell items, then level by level for subassembly items. Each MRP session concludes with PO generation and conversion, which is typically handled by a buyer who confirms prices, sourcing, and other purchasing details. POs for items with a to-order policy are triggered by demand from new jobs. POs for items with a stocking order policy are triggered when total supply minus total demand falls below the item's reorder point. PO due dates are determined by each item's lead days allocation and are aligned with job start dates. Purchase order conversion benefits from careful review to verify prices and sourcing. Here, directly in the MRP screen, the buyer can change supplier selections, update supplier prices, and change manufacturer part number specifications. The review note capability provides a means for handling special purchasing requirements. For example, here in the MRP settings screen, a review note has been entered against this item. The review note indicates that the supplier's website must be checked and supplier price records updated with each PO. Back here in the Plan PO screen, the review note must be read and confirmed before PO conversion is allowed. MRP always generates the minimum action profile, but PO quantities can always be manually augmented to take advantage of special pricing, to fill a container, to meet an annual volume commitment, and so on. Purchase orders are reviewed and sent to suppliers from the Purchase Order screen. Here we are looking at the Header tab, and here we are looking at the Line Item Details tab. The upper grid displays stocking unit of measure quantities and unit costs. Supplier and manufacturer information for each line item is displayed in the lower panel. After the purchase order has been reviewed, it can be emailed to the supplier. Here on the PO, the supplier sees his part number and description, as well as manufacturer information. And here you see your item ID for cross-reference. You can create your own custom default form layout, as well as custom layouts that can be assigned to specific suppliers. The PO schedule is used to monitor POs in progress so that late POs can be expedited to minimize job delays. By default, all PO lines in progress are displayed. You can click the Days Past Required Date filter to isolate the screen to PO lines that are past their required date. If the late PO affects dependent jobs that are waiting for the item, the icon in the Dependencies field becomes visible. You can click the icon to get a listing of dependent jobs. When a PO is late, you would ideally contact the supplier to apply pressure for delivery and to get a new delivery date. Enter the new delivery date in the Expected Date field, which updates dependencies and informs production people when the material is expected to arrive. Purchase orders are received in the PO receipt screen. One click of the Prefill button automatically receives all items to their default receipt locations. The only exception to the prefill process is when an item is designated for lot or serial control. Down here in the lower panel, we've entered a lot number for this quantity against this item's default receipt location. Item labels can be printed concurrent with PO receipt transactions. You can create customized label formats and include PO information on the label, as well as lot and serial numbers. The stock transfer is particularly useful when PO receipts are made to a default inspection and labeling location. After items are inspected and fully labeled, they can be transferred from the inspection location to each item's primary storage location. PO receipts are matched with supplier invoices in the PO Invoices screen. This screen is used to enter shipping charges and to match supplier invoice prices with supplier PO prices. Any discrepancy between the invoice price and the PO price is posted to an adjustments account. The matching process closes fully invoiced lines and closes the PO at header level when all lines are closed. The final process in the purchasing workflow is to transfer the invoice total amount to your accounting system for payables processing. Only the total invoice amount is transferred, which is all that is needed for payables tracking and payment processing. All the posting detail was captured in DBA and flows through to your general ledger through the GL summary transfer process. As you have seen, the purchasing features and processes in DBA are optimized for just-in-time manufacturing and ensure that materials are on hand when needed by jobs.